friends. This is Janine Pettit, founder of Girl Camper and co-host of the Girl Camper podcast. On today's episode, it's all about handmade gifts for the girl camper in your life. The holidays are here, and I know that involves a lot of gift giving among our friends, our camping buddies. And I've got some things to make here that are easy on the budget, easy to do, and that people are going to treasure because they are gifts from the heart. From our battery-operated thermos light to a string of origami lights that will brighten up any camper, shelf-stable soup in a simmering pot, and the prettiest bouquet of fire starters you ever saw. I'm going to show you how to do them all on today's episode of the Girl Camper podcast.
What does it mean to camp like a girl?
It means charting your own course.
It means following your passions.
It means building your circle.
Sharing experiences.
And making memories that will last a lifetime.
It means conquering obstacles.
Finding your freedom.
And learning that so much more is out there for you to discover.
So what does it mean to camp like a girl? Well, that's for you to decide.
Because behind every great trip plan is a woman. Start your adventure today at GoRVing.com.
You know, fire starters are one of my favorite gifts to make and to give, and people always appreciate them. And the reason I do them every year is because I love coming up with the new ideas and because people really enjoy receiving these, and they're very practical and inexpensive to make. So this is a new one I came up with this year. I was scrolling and I saw someone making paper roses out of lunch bags, and I thought, wait a minute, I know what we can do with that and take it up a notch. So here's what we're going to need. Lunch bags, couldn't get any cheaper than that. Some skewers, bamboo skewers, a little bit of twine or something to tie it off with, petroleum jelly, which is the fire, and a teaspoon. So we start with our little bag, and you open it up and you put your hand in it. Now pretend you're gonna make a sock puppet. So stick your hand in there and grab the inside of the bottom of the bag, and then start pulling the paper up and twisting it around. So we're creating the rose petals by twisting this around and around. And I know that's noisy, but you just twist. And so when you get to the bottom of that, look at how pretty that little rose is, and it's a paper bag. So when we get to the bottom here, we want to twist that and squeeze it so we've got a nice tight little base, like the bud of the rose. And then we are going to tie that off. Here, let me tie it off with a different piece of string over here. I have some green and white, so that might look like a little leaf. And so we're just gonna tie that around the bottom and make that nice and tight. When you're doing that, make sure that you're getting the inside of that rosebud. So when you first grabbed it inside, you gotta pull that down a little. So we wanna make sure when we're tying it off, we don't just have the outside of the bag, but the inside of this rosebud too. So tie that off. A little tight piece of string there. Okay, before we put our stem on, we are going to grab the petroleum jelly. Now this is what's really cool. So we have this here, and we're kind of open up our little petals. Stick that down deep in there and just wipe it off. Open up another spot and stick that inside of your roses. I like to do 3 or 4 little half teaspoons. You don't need a lot. So what's gonna happen overnight or in a day or two is that this petroleum jelly isn't gonna be in there anymore. It's gonna all soak into this paper. Let me get a spot here. Here's a spot I didn't get. When you check this out tomorrow, this is going to be all different kinds of colors. It's going to be darker and lighter because that petroleum jelly is soaking in there. So get your skewer and just go up the inside of that and make your little stem. And then I like to put them in a thermos or some kind of pretty jar, or maybe something they could use in their camper to store something in. I've made variations of fire starters before with brown paper, but I think this is going to be one of my favorite ones. Make up a batch for your favorite girlfriend. Girl Camper gift item number 2, the lighted lamp. So this is the vintage thermos pieces of my collection. I've made these out of the big jugs with very large lampshades, and I have made them out of just regular thermoses. I pick up thermoses every time I see them, and they are getting harder and harder to find. This holiday one I actually bought off of eBay because I didn't have a green one and I never come across them. These are a little easier to find. So let me talk about some of the components first. You need a nice thermos. It doesn't have to be a thermos though. It could be an old marshmallow tin. It could be just a pretty jar or something with a lid. I like old tins too. But what I like to do is use the battery operated light bulbs. Now, there's rechargeable light bulbs that have a USB in the side and you can plug those in. The reason I stopped using those is because they don't come with this nice little holder. This is going to hold the light. Now, the rechargeable ones charge right here. So if you find something that has a little magnet, do you hear that snap? That snaps. I have gone to Home Depot and found PVC pipe that is like the butt end of something, and I have used that, but they generally charge right here, and that, I don't know, I just like these better. And because it is the smart kind of light bulbs that we have now, the 3 AAA batteries last a very, very long time. So it needs this little component, which has a peel and stick on the bottom here. It's got 3 AAA batteries in it. There's 2 different kinds of lampshades. One that comes with this kind of thing in it and snaps down on top of the bulb, but then there is this kind of shade that has a hole in the top. If you've got this kind of shade, and I got this one, this straw one, at Goodwill for $2.99, you are going to need this little adapter. This screws off on the top right there, and then you're going to put that on there and convert this over to the snap-on kind of bulb. And you have to have the snap-on lampshade for this. I think a 3-pack of these is $8 or $9. I'm gonna put the links in. I buy them on Amazon. So that's in there, and it's nice and tight. Okay, so this is very, very simple, and it's such a nice gift. When you have the thermos, and you kind of got to hold it and match it up. These were a good size together, and I found this little lampshade. It's got these Autobahn scenes on it, little birds, which I thought was so perfect for this bottle, this thermos. When you get these, that has to be clean as a whistle. So really scrub this all down, make sure that's very clean. Now this does have a peel and stick, but that alone isn't going to do it. So I use this two-sided. In fact, I'm gonna get rid of that piece because I stuck it on something, and this is two-sided tape. I use this, and I'll put the link in there for this. This is sticky. I'm gonna lay it on here so I get better stick with that and make sure that's on. That's why your surface has to be very clean. This stuff is fantastic for in your RV because it'll hold anything in place. If you're hanging a framed picture or something, make sure you put a piece this way and that way, horizontally and vertically, and you're gonna get better stick. I've had stuff on my RV walls for years with this that has never come off. Okay, so now I am going to take off the top of little cellophane there. And this is going to be glue on glue, which is going to make for a better stick there. And then I'm just going to stick this right on, and you got to apply some pressure on it and make sure. In fact, I could take that off and really put some pressure on it. Now, this doesn't ruin your thermos. If, I don't know, years from now I decide I don't want this to be a lamp anymore, this all peels off. There you go. There's our light switch right there. I'm going to show you something here. It comes with a remote control. Again, Amazon. I think 2 for $16, so $8 a piece. I'm gonna turn it on. There it goes, it goes on. I took the remote control for this and I put a peel and stick magnet on the back, so that is just sitting on the back of this thermos. So if you're laying in bed and you're going to sleep, you could just hit that and turn it off. And there we go. And you have got a beautiful little lamp that any girl camper is gonna love. I love this one. It's so simple. Next on our list is a simmering pot. This is a beautiful combination of seasonal scents. You can make them for Christmas, or you can make a fall or even a spring and summer one. I'm kind of focused on fall right now. So what I did is I got these jars from Dollar Tree. These are actually $1.50 now, but they have a nice rubber gasket on them, so they really hold a nice seal. And then whoever you give them to gets to keep this jar and reuse it. I did go over to Goodwill and I thought, let me just buy some old jars. It was $2.99 for an empty jelly jar. So the most practical thing to do is just get these at the Dollar Tree. I load them up with different scents. So I'm gonna start with these blood-dried oranges. So this jar right here that I have blood-dried oranges in is actually off my bar at home, because these are food grade, dehydrated. They're not sprayed with any chemicals or anything. And I like to put these in the bottom of an old fashioned. So these are edible. Some of them aren't, so you gotta watch. If you're gonna buy them and not make them yourself, you gotta read the label on those. We're not gonna eat these. They're gonna just simmer in the pot. But if they're sprayed with something, you don't want that leaching out into your house. So these are all natural. Now, you could do the oranges yourself, and there's all kinds of tutorials. What I do is I slice them very thin, apples as well. The apples I slice on my mandolin, and they're very thin, and you can put those in the oven, 200 degrees, and you gotta flip them back and forth, and it takes 3 or 4 hours, and they dry out. Oranges cannot be sliced on a mandolin. You just gotta slice them yourself. But honestly, the price of oranges, they were 88 cents a piece, and I don't know, you get maybe 10 slices if you have a really steady hand. For me, it was more practical to buy them already dried out. So that's what I did. Now the apples I made myself. In the closeout produce at the grocery store, the stuff that's kind of going bad, I got 6 giant apples the other day, and I think it was $3.50, and it made like 6 trays of apples. So that was worth the effort. Slice those on the mandolin, put them down on parchment paper on a cookie sheet, 200 degrees, back and forth, back and forth. These are totally edible. In fact, my grandkids were over the other day and ate a big chunk of those. So put those apples in there. They're not treated with anything. You're not gonna eat these, we're gonna smell them. So layer those apples in there. And then some of my favorite, I've just got cloves here. Big teaspoon of cloves, and I ordered these in bulk, and I'll put that link on too. I got a giant bag of these for like $6.99. And then this is star of anise, and it's the whole star. It's actually the anise seed inside that most people use, but throw a couple star of anise in there, and those are good. And I don't know where my cinnamon sticks went. They were here a minute ago, but they're not there. But anything you want. And then you could also put a little cinnamon powder in there, and you just put the lid on there and give that to anybody, and they can put that on their stove, simmer it in a crock pot, and it leaves that wonderful scent going around your house. That's a great idea for gift giving that's inexpensive, and you can make many of them when you buy everything in bulk, and make sure everybody you love gets a little treat from you. All right, while we're on food in a jar or things in a jar, here's a jar gift that I love giving to people, and it's a single serving of soup, and I do it with dehydrated vegetables. So I buy these off of Amazon, and there's all different kinds of flavors. You can buy a single thing, like if I love corn in chicken soup. So if you just wanted to buy corn and peas or the things that you like, carrots or whatever, you don't have to get the whole pack like this. So I start with these little jars, and let me tell you about these jars. They're 6 ounce, which is a really nice size when you're doing dehydrated. That is going to make more really than a single serving. These jars were $32 for 30, so a little over $1 a piece. They're 6 ounces. They come with these nice little labels, one on the top and one on the bottom, and a white pen. So I start out by running these things through the dishwasher first. I don't know, I just like to. And this is, because I'm making a lot of these, this is ginormous tub of Knorr chicken bouillon. So it is 1 teaspoon for every 8 ounces. So I like to put kind of like 2.5 in there. And that's the base of the soup. This is going to have 5 cups of fluid, like 5 cups of water when you make it, because the vegetables are dehydrated and they need to soak up and rehydrate. So you're going to put extra water than what this calls for. And then you just throw in here some freeze-dried peas. This is some celery, which goes great with chicken soup, onion. Now, if you wanted to, what you could do is also open a can of corn or anything that you have at home, or even throw freeze-dried chicken in here if you want to buy the freeze-dried, but you could throw a can of chicken. So the whole idea is this is shelf-stable in your camper, and you get where you're going, you don't have any food, but you've got a homemade jar of soup. So you can put that in. You could add canned chicken to it if you wanted to, or if you had a rotisserie chicken. Now, you want kind of a quick cook pasta. I love orzo, and I've made a lot of these over the last few days. So this is the end of my orzos right there, orzos. And then you just, no, wrong lid. Then you're just going to add to the front. Add 5 ounces of water, bring it to a boil, simmer until everything is hydrated, and then throw a little bottle or a little package of wafer crackers or water crackers or something from Dollar Tree in there with this, and give your friends the gift of a nice meal. All right, last on the list today, and honestly one of my favorites in terms of my pleasure that I get from making this. There is something about the art of origami that is very soothing to the brain, that you could take this 6x6 sheet of paper and turn it into a paper square ball. It's just, it takes a little bit to learn the pattern. And when I first learned this one, and I've been making these for years because I used to give them to my kids in their Easter basket, and when they opened them up, I wrote inside little notes for them, encouraging notes, and I used to make them a jar of encouraging notes, and then when they felt blue, they could open it up and there would be a little note from Mom. They thought I was so weird. Anyway, so this is, I'm not going to try to show you step by step because that just wouldn't work here. But it is a pattern. It's all over the internet. It's origami boxes, and I'm going to provide the link for the guy I follow. There's all kinds of different patterns, but this is called an origami box. And you start with origami paper. You can order this from Amazon, our favorite place, and there's a lot of folds in this one. And what I do is when I'm watching television, I have one of those lap things that has the pillow on the bottom and it's a flat surface. You could use it for writing or typing or whatever. I just like to sit when I'm watching TV and I'm folding these, and I get the little boxes and I chuck them in a little bag. And when I get enough, I take out this 20 lights. I've made these with 50 lights. Here's the difference. When you make them with the 20 lights, the lights are very, very close together. In that case, I put the little paper ball on top of the light, but I put it every other because they just touch each other and it doesn't actually look as nice. When you buy the string of lights that are 35, you get more of a spray and the lights aren't so close. So every individual little light can be covered with this box. So when you follow the instructions and make these little boxes, you're going to see a natural spot where there is a hole in the top, and you just stick your light in there. Mine have always stuck. I saw someone online who put a little dab of glue. I don't know. Mine have always stuck. They put them right over there and they do not come off. But these would be so pretty to hang in your camper, and there's no danger of it catching on fire because these lights don't give off any heat or anything. But the origami paper is fun too because they come in so many different patterns. If you like a hippy dippy look or you like something very classic, there's paisleys. You can make them really bright with solid colors. You could do a red, white, and blue, or your country of origin. If you're Italian and you want to make a flag colors out of them, whatever. These things are very relaxing to make, and I think they make such a cute gift and very, very inexpensive, but a labor of love. If you fold a few of these and your friends know it, they are going to appreciate the effort you went to for them. So that is all of my Christmas ideas for this year. If you want to make something for someone special in your life, here are a few ideas, and I hope you'll check one of them out and write us and let us know which one you used and how much you liked it or didn't like it. If you want to throttle me afterwards, don't. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on the Girl Camper Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. Join our Facebook group. Go over to girlcamper.com because we've got over 600 articles on camping and all kinds of things, and product reviews and campground reviews over at girlcamper.com. And of course, like and share and send this podcast out to someone who might like to make someone a Christmas gift. Happy trails, everyone, and happy holidays, however you celebrate them.